Good evening, everybody. I'm back. I'm Jack Remington, your host of the Jack Remington NFL channel. Didn't do too good last week. 2 wins, 3 losses. Everybody I've talked to, or email, or text, or call on the phone, they've had at least one horrific beat this season. Most of us have had two or three or four. So I'm joining the club. The other night, I convinced myself that the Rams were the money line side. There were some 10s offshore. The guys showed me the screenshots. One guy took the Rams anyway, but one guy took the 49ers plus the 10. You can read with it what you will with that. That was a tremendous spread. I had to lay minus 450, and it's on my pregame.com on the picks, on the bets, when you make your bets on the site. So, and I don't hide it. I don't obscure it. And if I have to, I can screenshot it if you really need to see it. But that's the only one I bet. I didn't do any over, any under. And one for the overtime, the under would have won. So I'm glad I didn't do the over. I'm terrible at over-unders, but I'm finally ahead. I'm 8 wins and 6 losses on the over-under. But I lost the last two the other Sunday. Jets had Fields do that Hail Mary, and that Wilson caught that and scored. Put him a couple points on the overs. I lost. I had unders winning the entire game. We all have those. But that's not that much of a bad beat. When I mean bad beat, I mean what happened to the Rams. They missed the extra point that cost them the game. So long story short, 2 wins, 3 losses. So for the season, I am 8 wins, 11 losses with 1 push. It's getting behind me. And the leaders of the pack, there's 2 guys tied at 13. They're a whole week ahead of me. A week and a fifth. If you want to count that tie as something to offset, you get half a point. I got to get moving. I got to start having some big wins. I got to peel off some 3s and 2s and 4 and 1s and 5 and 0s. I got to start peeling them off to have any chance in this contest. Last year I did terrible, but the previous 2 years I did pretty well. I almost came in the money twice, so, and I'm sure Fishang's got the record somewhere. And I want to thank Fishang as always. I salute that man, all the work he's done. He had a link, something about his daughter. All I saw was something to help out his daughter. I did what I could, and I voted up for the girl, and she was winning when I last looked. If Fishang needs any help like that, he can count on me. Fishang's a great guy. He's a hard-working guy. He must be hard-working to do this contest. I believe the Delivery Man 3 used to do this contest for years, but Fishang took it over, and I think he's done an excellent job. I salute you, Fishang, and I'll make sure you get all the credit you want. You've earned it. You deserve it. So anyway, last week, the first pick I had the Vikings. I lost that. The Steelers killed them. Carson Wentz turned back into the pumpkin that I should have known he was going to do. You put a little pressure on him. Most quarterbacks are going to do that. So I'm not bashing a quarterback to bash a quarterback. I understand it. When you got that 320-pound lineman, during the regular season, they get their weight down to 260, 270. But when in the offseason, they get 350 pounds. That's a gigantic beast staring at you, and he's just as fast as you. He's bigger than you. He's meaner than you. He's stronger than you. He's going to put his head right in your chest. You're trying to throw that ball. I mean, and there's 4 of them chasing you around. You got to get out of that and somehow throw that 95-yard touchdown and land in that receiver's arms 99 times out of 100, or else you ain't playing in this league. Deep respect for the linemen. Have deep respect for pass rushers. Have deep respect for quarterbacks. Have deep respect for everybody. So when you hear me say XYZ is being a bum, take it with a grain of salt. They're a lot better than any of us are ever going to be, or ever could be, or ever would be, or ever will be. At the Buccaneers, they were playing the Eagles. What a bad pick that was. I should have known. To give my pick for this week, you'll see why. I realize now what I should have. And I heard the stat, and I still took the Bucs like a fool. Falcons, I was getting a 3.5 point differential between the odds of the current game of that game versus the fixed line of the contest. So it's one slight advantage for working in this contest is that the lines are set, the lines are fixed, they're locked in, they can't change. So you can work off of that. So I was getting the Falcons plus a point. Next thing you know, the Falcons were getting favored. They were favored by 2, 2.5, whatever it was. And I didn't keep up with it after the game started. But I won. That point differential between what the fixed line is and what the betting line is on Sunday or Monday, wherever the game's played, I've won a lot of those games like that. I mean, I don't have a number for you, but I'm going to say I'm hit 80% with that. And I think that's on the low end. And I've done that twice this year. Okay, so the Texans, I thought it was the easy pick, and it was the easiest win I had this year. The Ravens, why did I pick them? I knew the defense was decimated, but I thought that it was going to be a slugging fest between Lamar Jackson and Patrick Mahomes. The Chiefs are rounding into shape a little bit. I want to touch on this for a second, but I still like my chances with the Ravens. They were home. It's still a bad pick. I should have picked a different game. Let's get to this week's games, and I'm going to give you the covers.com. I'm going to give you the Sports Insights advantages.com. I'm going to give you the sportsbettingdime.com, or I may or may not. And then I'm going to give you what I'm picking and give you a brief discussion why. So let's go with the first game I'm picking this weekend. I'm taking the Cleveland Browns plus 3.5. They're in Dublin, Ireland. The travel thing I don't factor that much in because if it's an extreme fatigue situation, I'll look at that. And then, the Vikings got a big advantage. Well, the Vikings had to travel. They had to get on the plane anyway and go from the first game last week to Ireland this week. They were in England last week, now they're in Ireland this week. That's still a 4-hour flight. They still got to go to the airport, get a different bed. You get lulled to sleep with the same bathrooms, the same walkways. You got to walk 10 miles before you get to your shuttle, whatever. But Cleveland's going to travel anyway. Adrenaline might be up a little bit because most players on Cleveland have never played overseas, so it's a big thing for them. So adrenaline's going to be up. That gives them, to me, a half a point. So I feel like I'm getting 4 points with Cleveland. Why I like Cleveland? Minnesota's offensive line's got some trouble, and Myles Garrett's he was limited in practice. I mean, I did my research. I mean, I'm trying really hard. I'm putting the time in, like I promised you guys. I know Myles Garrett's got a limited practice, and I looked just a couple hours ago. But if he's still scheduled to play, I still think he's going to put that little ankle thing behind him. He's just going to go all out. And if he can't go all out, they still got double team him. They can't take a chance he's faking an injury or whatever, or doing the Bill Belichick. I'm wiring up the injury report to fake you guys out, make you think Tom Brady's really hurt. He can't throw long or whatever. And Tom Brady gets in the game and he passes for 500 yards. They call Bill Belichick out on it and yet stop it. Well, anyway. So I'm taking the Cleveland Browns. I'm getting 3.5 points. I'm looking for a low-scoring game. I think Minnesota, they got a great coaching staff. I think that Florida's got a good defense. I think he's a great defensive coach. I think he's going to throw some different looks. And Cleveland's starting a new quarterback. Now, the other team that started a new quarterback the other week was the New York Giants and with Jackson Dart. And I almost took the Giants. I didn't. And I took the Ravens instead. So that cost me a full point in this contest for second-guessing myself and listening to someone else. That's my fault. Listen to yourself, and I'll get to that in a few picks later. You're going to be shocked when I'm about to say, if you pay attention. I might even lose some subscribers when they hear what I'm doing here. Because this person is on the top of the football world. So I'm taking the Cleveland Browns here on the Sports Insight. It's according to this, there's 55% of the money's coming on the Browns. I don't like that. But on the Sports Betting Dime, let's see the spread. It's about the same, 55-45, give or take. On the money line, a lot of money's coming on Minnesota, so the books kind of need the Cleveland to win this game outright. But there's other games that are much more lopsided than this, so we'll get to that. Okay, the second game I want to talk about, the second pick, we're taking the Houston Texans over the Baltimore Ravens. Now, when you look at the matchup, there's not much interaction between Minnesota and Cleveland the last decade or two. They played 5 times, they split 2-1, whatever. So not much to go by there. But the head-to-head between the Baltimore Ravens and the Houston Texans, Baltimore's won the last 6 in a row, and they won the last 8 out of 10. And when they played last December, they beat them 31-2. They got a safety. That was the only points they got in that game. So Houston's thinking about that. They're remembering that. And that loss cost them a seeding spot. They could have got a little higher, could have got a better draw instead of running up against a hot Chargers team. But I'm just saying, when you look at the injuries, I forgot to do that for the Minnesota game, but Baltimore has got like 18 people on its injury list. Houston has 7. But I want you to know that Lamar Jackson is on the report. He's out, hamstring. Starting linebacker Van Noy, injured hamstring. But there's some other people, some starters on here that are out. Ed Jones Jr., offensive tackle, out, shoulder injury. Humphrey, cornerback, out, calf. Okay. The other cornerback, Awuzie, out, hamstring. Houston, injuries. Darryl Stanley Jr. has got the cornerback, but he's playing. Reed, the safety, he's out. And Autry, the defensive lineman, is out, but that's it. The Ravens got a ton of players that are out. Houston won their game last week. They beat the snot out of Tennessee. I just think Houston knows they're 1-3. They can't afford to fall back behind the Colts anymore. They can't fall behind Jacksonville. I mean, that might be, it's turning into a competitive division. I mean, Houston was walking away with it the last couple of years, but not so this year. They're in for some real dogfights, and this is DeMeco Ryan's second year as a head coach. He's learning the ropes the hard way, and that's the School of Hard Knocks, and I can't say enough about the School of Hard Knocks. So I'm taking Houston Texans because Baltimore's reeling. They were overrated anyway. With Lamar Jackson, they can win any game. He keeps them in the games, and people don't see that, but I see it. This line movement, it opened, I got here on this sportsinsights.com or spread.com. It was Baltimore minus 7.5 according to this, but I saw it 9.5 when it opened up the a few days ago. And right now, it's Houston minus 1.5, but it got up to Houston minus 3.5. I mean, that's a 12-point swing. Okay, now is Lamar Jackson worth 12 points? I'm going to say he's worth 10. And the defensive problem, well, the defensive players that got put on, 8 of them got put on this week. That's the 2-point extra. And now the line's come back down to earth, so a little bit of Baltimore money's come in, I'm assuming. This is the biggest spread for like this one player. I'm saying Lamar Jackson worth 10 points. I've never seen it I can't remember that in my entire life. If it happened before, I don't remember, or it went past me. This is a tremendous, tremendous show of the faith and the abilities of Lamar Jackson when he's healthy. Looking at the sports betting dime, we got on the spread. 76% of the money's coming in on Baltimore. That's the spread. That's not the money line. The money line is 68%. So the books kind of need Houston. And I think Houston knows that they have to do this. They have to win. They all have to win. But the earnestness is actually on the Houston side, not Baltimore. They're still thinking of how great they are. Oh, we just had a little bit of bad luck. We got injuries, I can see how the defense is kind of taking a step back anyway. But not Houston. Houston's fighting hard. I mean, they were in a war with Tampa when they had them the other week. And they had Tampa beat on that 4th and 10. I told you, Baker Mayfield triple juked that first round draft pick, that linebacker, and he missed him. And he ran for like 13 yards, got the first down, and wound up scoring a touchdown and won the game for him. That's one of my bad beats. It should have went my way. But anyway, and we all have them. I get that. We're taking the Houston Texans, and that's it. Pick number 3. We're going with the Seattle Seahawks, minus 3.5. Okay, this one opened on the Sports Insight. It opened Tampa Bay minus 1.5. Then it got switched around, and now it's Seattle minus 3.5. The favorites flipped in this game too. The sports betting dime, it's got Seattle Seahawks. 71% of the bet money's coming in on the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. But on the money line bet, 2/3 or 67% is coming on Seattle. So it's kind of to me, it's almost a split line. On the Sports Insight, it's Seattle is only getting 30%, and Tampa's getting 70%. That's very telling. So anyway, I shouldn't give this secret away. The few people I discussed this with don't believe it. They think it's meaningless. But in the last 3 years, Mike Evans, a wide receiver, this great he's a first ballot Hall of Famer in my opinion, and he better make it. He's that good. He's freaking great. There's a total of 15 games he's missed in the last 3 years, okay? What's Tampa Bay's record without him against the spread? There are 3 wins, 11 losses with 1 push, and that push was an overtime game, I believe. So whichever line you had, there's probably a loss. And the last 4 games, they've lost against the spread every time, as well as lost the game straight up as well. Fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice with this, shame on me. I'm betting against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, and what's his name, Baker Mayfield's got the bad knee, and he couldn't plant on his 1 foot on that big pass, that 30-yard pass. He tried to zing it in the end zone. If you watch again in slow motion, he kind of leaned a little too far, and the ball was veered to the right. They got picked off by the Philadelphia. He meant to throw it to the receiver, which is 3 feet in front of that receiver, right around the 2-yard line. Tough miss, but if he's playing hurt, that can happen again. He turn into a turnover machine. And then he did try to juke around a couple plays, running plays late in the game against the Eagles. He beat the guy the first time, but the second time he didn't. And there was a 4th down play. They got him that time. So they couldn't catch him in the Houston game, but the Philadelphia Eagles made sure they had to spy on him and got him. Philadelphia is kind of well coached, although I'm not a Sirianni fan. But Sirianni's got some good defensive coaches. He's got some good position coaches, assistant coaches. And I'm taking Seattle Seahawks, and this will be the second time I've taken Sam Darnold this year. I took him in week 1 when they were playing the 49ers. Had the chance to win the game. Maybe Darnold's not that bad. Maybe he's improved something. And he got the very next play, they strip sacked him, and that was the end of the game. And 49ers won. The 49ers just beat me with the Rams off the pool. I'm going to take another chance on Sam Darnold. I know I shouldn't do this, but his metrics are almost double what they were in the first 4 games for the Vikings. He's like the number 2 ranked passer in the NFL, and he's cut some of the turnovers down, and he's staying focused and everything. And here I'm talking good about him now. I hope I just don't pick another loser here. But we're taking Seattle Seahawks and hope for the best. And the next game I want to talk about, we're taking the New England Patriots against my better judgment. I'm taking the New England Patriots at Buffalo Bills. It's a division rivalry game. It's open at 8.5. It stayed at 8.5 on this Sports Insights. It's 55-45. Buffalo money coming in. That's okay. It's about 50-50. But on the money line, listen to this. The money line. The Buffalo Bills. 98% of the bets are coming in on Buffalo. 98% of the money is coming in on Buffalo. The books need New England to win this game. But if they can just keep the game close, I think they'll break a lot of teasers and everything else, parlays, whatever. I know Buffalo is a very good team. I keep putting Buffalo down, but I think their defense is their weak spot. I can't say enough good things about Josh Allen. I will say it one more time. He will never win the Super Bowl as long as he's on this team. This team's window is starting to close, and the special teams are not so hot, and the defense is really bad. I think the defense is worse than New England's defense. New England's starting to gel into shape as a young team, and Vrabel might know how to pick that apart. If Derek May can stay upright, and if he can get off quick passes and hit the slots, I know Milano's returning, a couple of players returning, but how effective are they going to be? But Vrabel's going to be able to spot that right away, and don't make their adjustments, especially at halftime. I like New England plus the 8. It's a division rivalry. Buffalo might be taking, we'll win, but we'll just half-ass it and save some energy. They got a good game coming up on deck. I forgot who Buffalo's playing, and I lost the other sheet. That's on me. But we're sticking with the Patriots. The last pick, and this is where I'm going to probably lose some subscribers. I listened to a guy named Jon Gruden. Do you know who he is? He has one of the best comprehensive breakdowns. He goes through each position. He goes through each player. He's got the whiteboard, whatever you want to call it. He's got the players. He's got the offense. He's got the defense. He talks about the special teams. He talks about the coaching. He covers everything you want to cover in a football game. I know the videos are hours, sometimes an hour and 20 minutes long, but it's worth the investment because you can learn a lot from Jon Gruden. I challenge you viewers on pregame.com or anywhere else that's watching my channel. Can you find me a better teacher to have you mentor you in the NFL than Jon Gruden? You can tell he loves doing this. I mean, his staff gets bored. He has to wake them up every now and then. He asks them a question. And see, I do this too. Well, right now, I'm by myself. I don't have my wife help. I don't have anybody helping me today. And people have told me they can tell with some videos are better than others. I don't have a teleprompter. This is my scribble sheet. I'll even show it to you to prove my honesty to you. That's my scribble sheet for this video. That's it. That's it. Everything you get's from here and here, my brain and my heart, my soul, and my spirit, okay? And you're getting me for free. Have some respect for me if you can, please. Jon Gruden's gotten 3 games in a row wrong for me. He got the got the Rams game wrong just a couple days ago. Last week he got the Buccaneers game wrong. He thought they were going to do it against Philadelphia. A couple weeks ago before that he got one wrong. So he's gotten 3 in a row wrong that I listened to him and did it his way, thinking he's much better than me, light years ahead of me. You still got to make up your own mind. So I don't blame Jon Gruden. I mean, no one's going to expect him to be perfect, or else we'd all just kick back, put our feet up on the table, watch Jon Gruden's video. Who you picking? And we would just pick that team, and we'd be raking in the money. But sooner or later, Guido will come make him a visit and tell him, "Hey, you're costing us money. You got to stop, or else you'll be wearing the cement shoes near Pahrump, 60 miles north of Clark County or Las Vegas, Clark County, where the Tonopah Missile Range is at, where I almost got robbed by these 3 girls. And they made fun of me when I made that post on pregame. Like, but I posted many years ago. And at the time, I could pinpoint things. I should spend the time to get the police report and everything else, because the Department of Defense, who I was working for, sent the report to the Nye County and Sheriff's Department. And I remember seeing it, and I had a screenshot or had a copy somewhere. And I can't find it, but maybe I should try to get another copy. But that really did happen, and the stores didn't want to get involved, and because they're scared out of their mind. It's an old retired couple, and I get that. That's what would happen. I mean, they would put a stop to Jon Gruden if he's batting 95%. With his NFL picks, people start jump on that bandwagon, and they would destroy the books, and they're not going to have that. Sadly, if you are a winning player, and I've even heard R.J. Bell making mention of this every now and then when he slips, but they can kick you out of the casinos in Vegas or anywhere else if you're a winning player. I got kicked out of the Aquarius in Laughlin. The only time I ever went, I went 5 for 5, and the guy told me, don't come back. I looked at him, my daughter was staying there, but it's a long story, but it's a true story. And I remember telling Fishang over the phone, I told him about this, but I wanted to bet the second half. It was the Dallas Cowboys playing. Then they were called the Phoenix Cardinals. I just knew Dallas was going to regroup. I knew Dallas was going to kick the shit. It was like, I just knew by the way the game was going, the last 5 minutes of the second quarter. And I just knew Dallas was going to make their adjustments. And Phoenix was just, the horseshoe was going to fall out. And I was getting Dallas plus points for the second half in the game they were behind and the game they needed. I jumped all over that. And I needed them for my parlay, too. I had a round-robin parlay. And I went to the counter. Is anybody here? I'm pounding on the table. Once they kick the ball off and the boards go flash and the halftime scores disappear, you all know that. You guys are gamblers, right? And I said, I'm going to speak to the manager. And the lady said, okay, I'll be right back. And she never came back. And I just stood at the counter watching the Dallas Cowboys, with the kickoff return, go 80 yards. And they scored on the next play. I'm winning this the second half, but I'm going to win that leg of the parlay. And it was an afternoon game. I won my 3 10 o'clock games. I needed that game and needed the Cleveland New York Giants money line. I was taking Cleveland on the money line upset, and they won. And the Giants were the chance they had beat my New England Patriots. So this had to have been 2008 or 2009. I forget the year. Now I'm talking about it comes back to me. So 10 minutes later, she comes walking back out, and she's peeking around the corner. And I said, I waved to her, and I said, "Where's the manager?" She said, "I am the manager." I said, "Really? Really?" And that's when the security guards came over. I don't know if she gave him a look, or I wasn't really paying attention that close. And they formed in the diamond formation. And the next thing you know, I'm boxed in, and she backs away. And he goes, "Is there a problem?" I said, "No problem here." I saw, I tried to make a bet, and I couldn't make the bet. And he goes, "Well, the betting window's closed, so you need to take a seat and watch the games, or you can leave." That's what the guy said. He seemed to be, "Come on in. Come on in."
It's 5 o'clock.
Oh.
I know you're still filming.
I'm almost done.
Okay, well, almost means you're 2 hours out.
No.
Okay, I'm just telling you, I'd like to make reservations. Dancing starts at 7. It's only from 7 to 10. If we get there at 8, we won't be able to dance.
Okay, all right.
So we kind of need to have dinner around 6. I'm going to try and push it at 6:30, but I'll have the Uber come about 6:15. Is that okay?
Yes.
It's 5 o'clock now, so it gives you an hour. You have to be ready.
Okay, I'll be ready.
I'm going to make the reservation.
Okay, I'll be ready.
All
right, thank you. Oh, I got to wrap this up. And then I was cashing the tickets out, and I went to leave the lady. I still was going to give her, a $20 tip. I would normally give a couple $100 tip when I had big hits like that, but I was going to leave her $20, because she kind of upset me. And then I'm walking out, and the same guy who came up to me in the front, he goes, "Oh, and by the way, don't you ever come back." And I said, "Don't worry, I won't." and I've never been back to the Aquarius, and they keep sending my wife stuff to play their slots. And those are the picks: the Browns, the Texans, the Seahawks, the Patriots, and Jaguars. I'm probably forgetting a couple things or two, but I got to cut this video. I got to start editing right now. I'm still working hard. I did do some research. I did do my due diligence. Buffalo Bills, they've been beating the snot out of the Patriots the last few years, but I think that's going to reverse. Head-to-head Buffalo Bills, they've won. Well, okay, New England got them last year, but that was a throw. Buffalo didn't need the game. So I'm not going to count that last game on January 5th of this year. It was a throwaway game. Buffalo had everything locked up, and Patriots beat them 23-16. But the previous 9 meetings, Buffalo won 7 out of 9 and beat them decisively. And then the other game I want to talk about real quick with the Jacksonville, Kansas City Chiefs. Kansas City's won the last 8 in a row. Kansas City's won the last 8 out of 10. Okay, Jacksonville got them in 2007 and then 2009, and the teams kind of switched over. But the last 8 meetings, Kansas City has owned the Jacksonville Jaguars. There's a few times Kansas City's the home team here. They met in the playoffs, and they played in Kansas City. So it seems a little skewered, but it's not. They've won the last 8 in a row, last 8 out of 10. You don't even have to count the 2007, 2009. They won the last 8 in a row. And don't tell me that's not playing on Jacksonville's mind. But it's got Patrick Mahomes. This is what I'm seeing. Injured his groin. He's got full participation in practice. If I was a Kansas City Chiefs bettor, I would be looking at that. And this Smith-Schuster, he used to play for Steelers. I think he's a great wide receiver. And he's got injured a knee, but he did practice, though. He's got an offensive tackle. Jay Taylor, he's got an injured knee. Doesn't say anybody's out, but they've got some serious injuries. Look, come on, we're men here. Okay, we can talk men talk. A groin injury can flare up at any second, any movement. And you guys know this. I shouldn't have to explain it to you. I like my chances of getting Jacksonville in the 3.5. So I got to wrap this video up. I got some photos for you. And I found this funny clip today of this Charlie Kennedy. He's got this Tyreek Hill meme. I won't put this in it. I love this meme. It's a different story for a different day. It's kind of insignificant. Enjoy the games. Enjoy the NFL. God bless America. God bless Donald Trump, the greatest president in American history. God bless the United States of America, the greatest country ever devised by man, and we must survive. There's nowhere else to go. Okay? We've got to make our last stand here. Why should I put that in the football video? Well, because if we can't make that final stand, there's going to be no more NFL football, at least not in this version. They're going to be making millions of dollars. We'll be playing like in the gladiator games in the Roman days 2,500 years ago, where the losers get fed to the lions and tigers. And I'm not joking. I'm being pretty serious about this. We need to make this stand here. We need to get involved in our country. Without the good things of a great country like this, Constitutional Republic, all the good things we have are going to go away. And I mean go away bigly. Thank you. Stay tuned for the next video. Enjoy the games.